Welcome to our presentation on ICANN's new meeting strategy, which will be implemented in 2016 starting with ICANN 55 in Marrakesh, Morocco. ICANN meetings are a central principle of ICANN's multi-stakeholder model because they provide a venue for progressing policy work, conducting outreach, exchanging best practices, conducting business deals, and interacting among members of the ICANN community, including board and staff, as well as learning about ICANN. ICANN has been hosting these international meetings since 1999 at a rate of 4 meetings per year, which was then reduced in 2003 to 3 meetings per year. Over the past several years, the ICANN meetings have become increasingly complex events, and the success and growth of the community's global multi-stakeholder organization has begun to introduce stresses to the current model. There was a clear need for a process to address the growing number of attendees at meetings, and the growing demand for more sessions and community interaction. To effectively evolve the community's meeting strategy to accommodate the growth of the global multi-stakeholder needs, the ICANN board resolved to create a multi-stakeholder working group in February 2013 to look into all aspects of the ICANN meetings. The Meeting Strategy Working Group was a true cross-community working group comprised of members from the At-Large Advisory Committee, the Address Supporting Organization, the Country Code Name Supporting Organization, the Generic Name Supporting Organization, and the Governmental Advisory Committee. The group undertook a considerable amount of research and analysis and conducted a number of interviews in order to understand the many facets and requirements that comprise an ICANN meeting. After 2 years of extensive cross-community work, a new ICANN meeting strategy was submitted and approved by the board for implementation in 2016. To determine how best to make recommendations on evolving the meeting structure and format, the Meeting Strategy Working Group established the following guiding principles to aid in the deliberation process. The guiding principles are: ensure sufficient face-to-face time for SOAC policy development. Develop the next level of equal-footed cross-constituency interaction and facilitate sufficient delegate networking possibilities. Promote efficient use of community and ICANN time with less session conflicts. Maximize qualitative participation. Develop a design that allows for growth and serve to increase the credibility of ICANN with the broader global community. These are the overall recommendations made by the Meeting Strategy Working Group. The first is continue the 3 meeting schedule annually, but evolve the structure of the 3 meetings, defined as meeting A, B, and C, to better address meeting objectives, scheduling conflicts, and to use the time in a most effective way. The second is continue regional rotation for all meetings and coordinate rotation to balance global coverage on a multi-year cycle, but evolve the rotation strategy to take advantage of the smaller mid-year meeting, also known as meeting B, to rotate through new geographic locations previously unavailable to the meetings due to the attendance and logistical requirements of the current meeting structure. The third is continue to allocate adequate time for SOAC work, but evolve the format of the meetings to afford greater opportunity for cross-community engagement and outreach. And lastly is continue with the public forum at the first and third meetings in the cycle, but evolve the format by splitting the time into 2 portions with differing focus. So now we're going to jump in and take a look at the 3 different meeting formats, the first of which is meeting A. This meeting is a duration of 6 total days, and the format is similar in duration and theme to the current ICANN meeting, with the exception of the revised format for the public forum. So for day 1 and day 2, we have board committees meeting in the morning, intra-community work happening in the afternoon, which means constituencies or advisory committees working amongst themselves, and we have 1 day with outreach and 1 day for newcomers. On Monday, we have our welcome ceremony, we have high interest topics, and we have the first session of the public forum, which would run approximately 90 minutes in length. The board would hear from the community, and SOAC chairs would join the board in this session to hear and give brief updates from the community and listen to topics of interest by the community. Next, we have day 4 and 5, which both include high-interest topic sessions, a GDD track, SOAC reports to the community, and both intra and inter or cross-community work. Lastly, we have day 6 on Thursday, where we would do additional intra-community work and wrap-ups, and the second session of the public forum, where the board would hear corresponding statements from the community and then respond as appropriate, as well as address any questions posed at the first public forum meeting. The second meeting in the 3-meeting annual cycle is Meeting B. The format for this 4-day meeting is focused on SOAC policy work and outreach, which is why it will also be referred to as a policy forum. We have 1 full day dedicated to outreach and 3 days dedicated to both intra and inter or cross-community work. There will be no welcome ceremony, no high-interest topics, no public forum, no board meeting, and no sponsor exhibition area. While this meeting will serve to increase concentrated time on policy work while reducing session overlap or conflict, it is also intended to enhance cross-community interaction by increasing networking, social interaction, and cross-community work. And finally, we have Meeting C, the 3rd meeting in the 3-meeting annual cycle. This is our annual general meeting, and it's slightly longer, with a duration of 7 total days. The focus for this meeting is showcasing ICANN's work to a broader global audience, and we have a similar format to Meeting A, with day 1 and day 2 set for board committees, inter-community work, and outreach and newcomers. The difference for this meeting is we have capacity building as well on day 1. Day 3, we again have the welcome ceremony, high-interest topics, and here we also have this split public forum with a session near the beginning of the meeting agenda for SOAC updates and a listen to topics of interest by the community, and a session later in the meeting agenda for community comment and board response. The other difference for Meeting C again is that final day, day 7, we have more time for intra-community work and wrap-ups. The Meeting Strategy Working Group recommendations stress that our geographic rotation is a very important aspect of the ICANN meetings and should remain mandatory for the new strategy. The Meeting Strategy Working Group also recommended that regional rotation should be as regular as possible, but that meeting staff should be given the flexibility to make the necessary arrangements to organize the meetings, even if the rotation period for a region is not respected. ICANN has already set its meeting dates and regional rotation through 2020, with careful avoidance of important holidays and other community events. The rotation is designed to ensure balanced global coverage on a multi-year cycle, but evolve the rotation strategy to take advantage of the smaller mid-year meeting, Meeting B, to rotate through new geographic locations previously unavailable to the ICANN meetings due to the attendance and logistical requirements of the current meeting structure. Therefore, for Meetings A and C, the focus of the rotation will be on geographies that can support the meeting space requirement for the expected content, organization, and attendance for those meetings. For Meeting B, the focus of the rotation will be on geographies which are unable to host Meetings A and C, as the meeting space requirement for these meetings would be lessened due to the organizational logistics. For all 3 meeting formats, consideration will take into account finding locations that pose the fewest issues with securing visas for attendees. Much work has already gone into implementation of the new meeting strategy. The meetings team has developed logistical requirements for each of the 3 meeting types, as well as requirements for the 3 different meeting formats and ways to engage local meeting hosts. The development of outreach programs for 2016 is well underway, and we continue to collaborate with ICANN's SOs and ACs on scheduling needs for all 3 meeting types. ICANN's meeting team is also working to provide framework and direction to ICANN staff and community members to organize schedules to minimize meeting conflict. A number of strategies to reduce session conflict have already been identified and include use of webinars wherever possible prior to the ICANN meetings, and consolidation of topics to eliminate unnecessary overlap and promote cross-community participation. And that concludes this presentation on the new meeting strategy. If you're interested in learning more about the new strategy, please join us at ICANN 54 in Dublin for the new meeting strategy update session, which will take place from 9 to 10:15 a.m. on Thursday, 22 October on the Level 4 foyer. You can also reach us via email to meetings@icann.org. Thank you.